Today we are looking at this Sony VHS and DVD player. It's not a recorder. It is the DAV D150G. As you can see right at the top, we paid £4 for this, including the speakers and remote. But I've not turned this on and tested it yet. It is so disgusting. A lot of times I'll pick stuff up like this cheap, but there's no way I will turn this on without taking the top off, checking inside. So let's have a look at this. Right, first things first, I'm just going to give this a good wipe down with some multi-surface cleaner, take the label off, get the top off and have a look inside. It is scratched to buggery. The thing is, we see these DVDs to VHS recorders while we're out and about, car boots and stuff, but not. But you know, when you see these, it doesn't mean it copies from VHS to DVD. They're not DVD recorders. That's going to need some extra work. But still, if this works, you know, if it was a VHS to DVD recorder, you know, you could get a couple of £100 for it maybe. But as this is just literally a DVD and VCR, if it was in good condition, you would get 60 to 70 quid maybe. But this is so scratched up, this is not going to be worth much, I wouldn't have said. Because a lot of this is just, it's not dirt, it is scratched filth. That'll do for that for the moment. Let's just get the top off. It's got a dust. It's got 3 screws on the back, a couple either side. Right, that's all undone. Let's take a look at it. Oh, we've got a free VHS tape. Now, most of you probably be thinking, is it worth it? Is it worth paying £4 and going through all this hassle? If I'd checked up and known it was only a DVD VCR, I might not have bothered. But if they're selling for, well, I don't think I would have bothered with the top being how scratched it was. But if it looked a bit nicer, then I probably would buy it again. I mean, you know, these shields in here look a bit rusty. It's all looking a bit rubbish. It's not too bad though. We're not looking at any blown caps. Safe to touch this because it hasn't been turned on since I bought it, and I bought this back in April, actually no, I bought this before Christmas. So yeah, this is like 7 months ago, 6-7 months ago. So nothing looked bad in there. A couple of bits look rusty. Now what I usually do is just get a paintbrush to brush the dust and stuff out of here outside. But I've been a messy part of my house at the moment that I'm renovating, so not that worried about it. But nothing's looking too bad, just a bit dusty. So I'll take the cover off here, we'll get this tape ejected, or we'll get the cover off here, we'll turn it on, we'll get this tape ejected, and then we'll go cleaning up some of the inside. It's like I say, a lot of times I'll just get a little soft paintbrush. You can just flick some dust out. Usually I take these outside and do it, but so just don't press too hard. You don't want to be bending your components and stuff over. But right, everything not looking too bad. The tape in here, don't know if you can see it. You got a bit of the tape that is around the drum there. Then over here it's not around the arm, looks like it's all been chewed up a bit. That bit of tape should be up around here, but it's not. But hopefully this will all liven up when I plug it in, and we can just get ready with the eject button. Find out where that is. Over this side. Eject button's just up here, so let's plug it in, see if anything smokes, and we'll hit the eject button. Right, I've not tried this yet. Yep, we've got a fuse in the plug. Right, let's plug it in, hopefully it doesn't go bang. Can hear things. Let's eject the tape. That worked, the drum's spinning up okay. Tape has been ejected, but still not in properly. So just lift this out and press the lever in there that releases the rollers. Just roll that back in. Tape's back in there. Not going to use that one again yet. Let's see. I will use this one. I'm just going to make sure it loads up. Oh, that sounds rough. It sounds like it isn't lined up on any. Sounds like it isn't lined up on there properly. You can hear it rubbing. It's not on that wheel properly. Will it play? Don't think it wants to play. Let's try a quick rewind. It could be that the tape is just a bit tight and stuck where it's been sat in there doing nothing. Let's try backwards again. Right, got some investigating to do. That's not rewinding. We'll just try another tape. Are you going to eject properly? Yep. Let's quickly try another tape that I know works okay. Actually, that tape has loaded correctly on that spool. So there we go, we can see fast forward is going a lot faster now. Fast forward is working, so it could be that's an old tape and it's just, you know, if it's got moisture in it, the tape can be stuck together, which will make it hard or impossible to fast forward and rewind. That was forward, let's go backwards. So yeah, that spool is working, where the other one wouldn't rewind it, but this one looks like it is. Actually, what I should have done first, and what I usually do first. Right, but we know the tape's loading and ejecting. The trouble is now I've just put a clean tape in there, and these heads could be dirty. So let's just turn this off and unplug it. Right, usually what I do with all the machines before even turning them on, this is usually with the cleaner ones it is. What I usually do is I take a piece of paper some IPA, some isopropyl alcohol. Now this stuff before lockdown, this litre bottle cost me £6.99, I think it is. These bottles now I mean, they're out of stock, and bottles this size, they're charging 20-30 quid. I'll have to have another look, see if they're cheaper. But all you do, I've just stuck some in a little bottle, just so I'm not opening the big bottle all the time. You just take any old piece of paper. This is just the inkjet from the inkjet paper, inkjet printer paper. Just soak the bottom of it with some alcohol, and then at the bottom, zoom in. Right, at the bottom of these heads, you can probably see just there are where the heads are. Actually, let me show you that. Right, so these little gaps you see in there, they are the actual heads. So you got 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, and 4 there. So this will probably sound. Oh, taking the camera off. So you have got 4 playheads, but this will probably say it's a 6 playhead machine, I think, because they count the number of heads you have on the drum, plus they count this head here, which is the eraser head, and then they count the other one that is just around here, which is your audio head. So it'll probably say this is a 6 head machine, if it says anything on it. It doesn't sound here, but it might say in the manual somewhere. No, it doesn't sound there, I don't think. But if you see somewhere that says it's 6 heads, you'll have 4 on the drum usually, and then your eraser head and your audio head. But all we do, we take our piece of paper with alcohol, just going to soak it some more. It's probably evaporated some of it. We're just going to put our thumb or our finger where those heads are, and you don't want to be touching those heads with anything. And then we're just going to spin the drum. Actually, that way I think it turns. It usually turns this way, the drum. So we're just going to spin it with our finger, put light pressure where the heads are, and this will clean them. And that's how dirty the heads are. If I tried playing the tape in that, it probably has dirtied that tape I put in there. But you try playing with heads like that, and it's not going to look good, and it's going to dirty whatever tape you put in there. So just using a different area of the paper now. You can actually feel the heads passing your finger, but you don't want to put too much pressure on them because the heads are very delicate, which is why you don't use cotton buds. So there we go. I mean, these we're getting absolutely loads of dirt off these heads. So I'm just going to go to the other side of the paper now. Just soak that. Usually when I do this, you only have to do it once and they're clean. But this is just, these are black. But try not touching the actual drum with your finger. Just spin it by the top, you're fine up here. It's still black. Yeah, still absolutely black. It could be that the heads are even destroyed. You just don't know. It doesn't seem to be as much coming off now, so I just spun it down the side. I've only got that bit on the top, so hopefully that's done. Just put my lid back on here, otherwise that will just evaporate if you leave it off of a lid off your alcohol. Yeah, the alcohol will vanish. Zoom you out a little bit. Right, I'm just going to take the top off of the DVD drive. If I didn't have such a large screwdriver. See if this fits in there. Yeah, it's got a black bit on it, makes it look like it's broken. Right, this should just lift off the top of that. These tops of these are magnetic, so it sticks a little bit. It just lifts off. There's no room here to put anything down. Right, so now we've got our DVD over this side. Oh, don't forget this is all turned off in a minute. So just going to get more alcohol. This time we're going to use our cotton buds or Q-tips. I'm just going to tip some alcohol on our Q-tip, cotton bud, soak it. Doesn't matter if alcohol spills on here because it will evaporate. What we're going to do is just put this on here, and I just like rotate it. I want to be really gentle with this lens. Looks quite clear. Sometimes when you have a close look at this, they can be a bit smoky. You know, if it's been around someone that smokes. Oh. I left my mic over on the bloody side again. So as I was saying, Q-tip with some IPA alcohol on it. I just rotate the cotton bud around, just touching the lens gently. Now do not have this on with like the lens on. If you look straight into a lens, it's going to damage your eyes. So that's it. We'll give that a quick clean. Like I say, you know, sometimes they actually do look smoky in there. If this has been in a smoker's house, that will have a film over it and have trouble reading discs, so that's always worth a little clean. It's quick to do. Back over to the VHS side. What I usually do is check these tracks. You can see these tracks should be greased up. There is a bit of grease on there, but it's not. Feels a little bit sticky still, and there's not much of it. So while we've got the alcohol out, what we'll do, we'll take our Q-tip and we're going to clean this up, put some more grease on there. Don't just put more grease on there, because the old grease will just it'll just make the new grease a bit stickier. It's just not as good, so it's always worth just cleaning off the old grease out of here. Big old hair in there. Usually I would take the undo the 4 screws that are usually in here. It's usually 4 screws holding this down. Take the whole thing out and clean the grease off the bottom of these as well. But I'm not going to go into that much detail at the moment, because I'm not even sure whether this is going to play properly or work. I usually actually do all this before I clean the heads. The heads are usually the last thing I clean. So once we've got all the grease off of there, I'm just going to get some lithium grease and re-grease them. Right, I've just got some multi-purpose grease. Yes, it's from those people, Wilco. This is a lithium based grease. Now lithium is good for, or it's okay to use on plastic. Although this is mainly metal, you have got plastic runners going up and down. You have got specialist greases to use on these, like a Mollycott that you can buy. It's a bit more expensive, but You know, I've been just using this. It's lithium based. As long as you stick with lithium grease, you're okay as far as I'm concerned. There'll probably be someone out there that tells me differently. What we're going to do, I've just got a bit on a cotton bud, and you're not putting loads on here, you just want to smear the tracks. You don't want big blobs on there because they're just going to get the attract dust and get all the dust stuck to them. So just going to smear these tracks. Going to try and get a bit just on the edges. A little bit of it goes underneath as well. But like I say, I'd usually take this out and clean the bottom off and get it in between at the ends of the plastic bits. And again over this side. Probably get my hands in the way. Don't worry if you have a couple of little blobs in there, because these the arms sliding up and down will spread it out evenly. You just don't want big globules of grease. That's why I like smearing. Try and get some of that underneath as well. That will do for that. And then finally, I usually do all the greasing and stuff first. Then we go back to our alcohol. So we just go over to our razor head and wipe the front of that nice and gently up and down. Then you've got your audio heads on the opposite side, which are these ones just in here. So wipe all them. I think actually it's audio and record head. And then you want to check all your little wheels and rollers and spindles on these, the arms that take the tape in and out. You want to make sure they're clean as well. Sometimes you'll see little black rings on the bottom or top, which is just where, like, you know, the tape's been running in there for so long. It's, you get bits of the tape on there, like bits of the metallic parts of the tape just come off and stay on the rollers, and you just get black lines on them, black rings. So you can see that's getting quite a bit of black stuff off these rollers and heads and stuff. So I'm just going to clean the other, use the other side of the bud. See how dirty that is? As soon as you run your tape over them, that's dirt's going to get on your tape and won't be very good. I'm going to wipe the rubber roller as well. Don't use too much alcohol on rubber rollers, because I think the alcohol, well, from what I've heard, alcohol can, you know, sort of degrade the rubber. I mean, it does take a lot off as well. You know, your cotton bud will be black after doing the rubber wheels. But the wheels do look like they've got stuff stuck to them. So yeah, I'm not going to do that too much on there. I might even use a bit of paper and pull that around. And you can see it's, without the alcohol, it's not really taking anything off. Right, and that is about that. That will do for that now. So this time we're going to plug it in. Let's hook it up to a television. Let's see what happens. See, this has got dust all in here. Always get a brush and try and, when they're this dirty, I'd take a bit more time. I'd get some like this brush and put some alcohol in it just to clean these ports out, because they're going to be filled with dust and everything, or a cotton bud in there. Now which one of these do I want? That one, I think there's no HDMI in here, it's just SCART. So we'll put that into the TV there. Forgot to zoom out again. So we just put a SCART lead into the back. I don't know whether you saw before, but I think you did actually, because I saw it on the TV myself. Right, so I'm not putting the cover back on the laser yet, although I probably should do, because I am actually stood above it and I don't want that going in my face. Don't want to be staring into that laser, so I am going to put this back on quickly. Well, I've given the lens a wipe, given it a clean, so there's not much more you can do with the lenses really, after you've cleaned them. The lasers do fail, and you either replace them or you just throw the machine away. Some lasers can be expensive to replace and it's just not worth it. Right, so here we go. Now we're going to give it a full proper test. And just make sure you don't touch anything in here if you're working with it with the lid off. It's very dangerous for your health, like electrocution. Right, displays on the front. That turns on all right. Let me see if I can move it. That's better. You can kind of see what's going on. Right, TV on. Well, at the moment I have got a Freeview box under there that is going through as well, and then should come to here. But the Freeview box is turned off. Is the Freeview box turning on?
Small tractor, what's going on with it? Everything, alright, I'll come check.
Right, mute that a minute. Can't remember what tape I was using now. Right, let's test out the VHS functions. I'm just going to check it rewinds. Rewinding. Is it going to flick over to the TV? Nope. Let's try the other socket. Don't forget, be careful, this is all live electrics in here. No, the other SCART socket. Now let's pick the picture up. It's a scene from the beach. So we got, I mean, I could have plugged this in. I could have plugged it in, it could have worked fine. But looking at the state that this paper came out in, so I've got a massive bright light above the paper now. But looking at the dirt that was on the heads, that would probably have a, you know, all the lines, like if your tracking was out, that would have had all the lines across the screen with all that muck on there. I'm 99% confident it would have done. That is planned, it's just it was a time lapse I did. Yep. Actually, there should be some sound on there of the wind. And my dog playing. So I don't know if you can hear that. I'll put the mic there. Fast forward it, I did have some other stuff on here. Alright, the DVD does eject. Didn't think it was going to then. Gonna try a quick wipe out. It's full of crud. Right, let's get a DVD. I think that one is. These are all free DVDs that I've got from and Blu-rays from buying rubbish machines at boot sales and people leaving stuff in there. Alright, so let's flick this over to DVD. Reading. Disc is spinning up. Knows it's a DVD. Yeah, hopefully you can hear that is playing the DVD as well. Yeah, fast forward it. Nope, not allowed to yet. Typical with DVDs. Can't fast forward through the rubbish. Well, that's good. Pressing the play button will actually select what's on the screen. Now, a lot of times you'll get to the menu of a DVD and then play buttons don't do anything and you can't do anything else unless you've got the remote. Well, we have got the remote for this somewhere. I'm just going to find it. It's wherever all the speakers are. So that's it. Skipping through, playing a movie, skipping through the chapters fine. So DVD's working fine. VCR's working fine. The only thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to change over the SCART leads. I'm going to hook it up to the Freeview box and I'm just going to test that it records on the VHS. So nothing needed adjusted in here. We just gave everything a good clean up. As long as it records all okay. If the recording or the tracking's out, I might give the arrays a head and recording heads another clean. But that is that. I mean, it's going to need a good clean up. Like these are just like filthy. So I mean, these can just, you can just chuck these. These are just plastic. You can just chuck these in a wash these with some soapy water. Hopefully that will come up clean. We're going to give the front a wipe down. I mean, the machine doesn't actually look too bad. I've also got I also use a soft toothbrush just to get in all the nooks and crannies. Use some alcohol, use some multi-purpose cleaner. It just gets in all the in between all the buttons and, you know, any sort of indents or labels or embossed buttons rather. So it just gets all the shit out. And even in the even in your AV ports that you have sort of on the front of the back, you can't see what I'm pointing at down there, can you? No. Yeah, so even down here, your AV ports and like the indented bit, toothbrush with some alcohol in there. Any of the connections I'll use alcohol in because it will evaporate. I don't want to put a multi-purpose cleaner in there because you're just going to rust any copper if the water stays in there. So that's about it. Just going to give it a good old clean up now. It's a shame about the lid. I mean, that is, I'm not sure whether you can see how scratched up that is on the camera. Probably at an angle you can see that is pretty bad. I mean, that's one of the worst tops I've come across. But you can always sand this back, and if you wanted to get some more money for it, you can sand it back and just like give it a quick spray of silver. You know, it's a pretty standard sort of matte silver. But for a recorder like this, I mean, if this was a £200, you know, VHS to DV, you know, copier, I might do that. I might sand the top down and get it sprayed. Whereas, you know, it's 50, 60 quid. It's all working properly. It's a Sony one, so I'm not going to go in. So yeah, you know, it is a 50, 60 quid player, so it's still quite a bit of money to someone. You know, it's not cheap. But you know, most people have got these in cupboards, in cabinets, and you don't see the top, or they've got something on top of it. So it's not worth the time and money to do that. I mean, I'll always do this to video recorders, whether they look new, and clean and looked after. Before I plug anything in, I'll always take the top off, clean the dust out, clean the heads. You can usually tell if the grease is all right. If you touch the grease and it's still nice and if it's still nice and slippery and doesn't feel like thick and dry, then it's usually all right. But if it feels thick and dry and it's like really, it's hard to explain, but you know, if your finger doesn't slide along it and your finger's sticking to it, then it needs wiping off properly and re-greasing. But I'm going to leave it here for this video. I'm going to dig the speakers out, see if the speakers work, see how much the whole system is to sell together. Because like I say, you have got the surround sound ports on the back. Yeah, you've got digital DTS surround, your Dolby Digital. So it might be worth having a look, see how much it is with all the speakers. Or actually, the speakers are in worse condition than the lid of this. But anyway, we'll have a look. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video and just how you can quickly just clean up. I could have turned it on and it could have worked fine, but I always just like to take them apart, give them a clean. It's just worth doing, and for peace of mind, you know now that this is all cleaned up and should be, just doing that will be good for many years to come, and it's not going to get returned when you sell it on eBay, hopefully. But thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, whatever you like. Leave me a comment if you liked it. Leave me a comment if you disliked it. Yeah, leave me a comment. Tell me why you disliked it. Subscribe to the channel so you see what other junk I pick up from the car boots. And click the notification bell and see when I upload my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, let's see what they were watching when it got stuck, if it's going to play. Looks like someone was using it as a CCTV. It's just the outside of someone's house. And they locked their gate. Boring.